Amy here with Midday Motivations. So today we're going to talk about comparison. So let's define comparison first. So the definition of comparison is the act of examining two or more things to identify similarities or differences. It often involves evaluating qualities, achievements, or status to determine which is better, worse, or equal. Let's just be honest. Comparison is never healthy. Right? You get all these feelings of inadequacy because you're wrapped up in, trying to compare yourself to others, and you get all these thoughts of insecurity, which is so, mentally draining, and then it leads to stress. You have unrealistic expectations if you're getting on, social media is a way that this happens a lot. We compare ourselves to others through that. And you have to remember, you're just seeing people's highlight reels. You're seeing the best. They're putting out their very best moments. You're not seeing the worst moments. And so you got to be careful when you get wrapped up in that. Remember, you are what you consume. So be very careful with what you are, allowing yourself to get sucked into. It's impossible to live and walk in gratitude if you're constantly comparing yourself to others, because you're not focusing on what you have. And it is really important that if you're going to live in gratitude, that you focus on the things that you have, not what you don't have. It causes jealousy and bitterness in relationships, right? You're constantly comparing yourself to your friends. Well, that's only going to cause resentment and bitterness. And so comparison is never good, right? It causes a lot of self-doubt, and it's really unhealthy, and it's toxic, and it's negative. And we don't want to live like that. And so really the only good comparison is against you, right? This is your journey. It is your path. It's your obstacle course, so to speak, right? And you've got to think about that. Every person is, developing mentally, physically, and socially at their own pace. Everybody has a different course than you. And let's be honest, comparison is like a roller coaster ride, right? It's up and down and up and down. You feel good 1 minute and awful the next. You feel superior 1 minute and then inferior the next. One moment, you're feeling confident, and the next moment you're feeling extremely insecure. So it's just this whole roller coaster ride of emotions and feelings, and it's negative and it's toxic. And so the only good comparison is against yourself. You need to think about your journey, your values, your principles, what you are doing on a daily basis, right? You want to reflect on your past challenges and how much you have grown. Compare yourself to the past self, right? What was your past self like? What are you like now? Reflect on that, right? And think about how seeing what you were last week, even compared to this week, is just going to motivate you and keep you on track, right? Ask yourself questions like, am I handling my emotions better? Am I being kinder to myself and to others? What can I do now that I couldn't do previously? Right? You want to look at the past version of you and compare you to that, because I'm sure that you have come so far. I know you have come so far. Just look in your journal, right? From when we have started together. And I think that that's a good place to start, to reflect. Look at your journal. Look at the things that you have accomplished. Look at your goals, your improvements, your milestones. Celebrate those milestones. Celebrate your victories of, achieving your goals or having these new healthy habits that you now have. You've got to compare you to you. It's the only healthy way, right? Break the habit of comparing yourself to others. Don't get caught up in the comparison game. You know what truly matters, and that's you and the people that love you for you. Sometimes when we go down, all that comparing, we kind of start to lose our own identity because we forget what our own goals are, right? We start to want to be someone else or want to be some other version of ourselves. That's just not us. So don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of your goals, your journeys, your path, right? Your values, your principles. Those are all very important. And you need to live in gratitude. You need to focus on the things that you have, not what you don't have, right? Focus on all the good in your life. The only comparison that you should be making, the only thing that matters is you versus past you. So think about that as you're on this journey of self-growth and, trying to be the best version of yourself. Compare you to your past self. And I bet you that you are getting better every single day. So no more comparing. And I'll see you tomorrow for a little bit more midday.